Trade in your old speakers. Enjoy Bo's performance at old prices. And it's the last week of the National Budget Meters Capital.
Aubrey's largest sound centre, Heart Rates, World of Sound.
No cheating now.
I think I'm winning.
Yeah, but it's not fair. Your fingers are smaller than mine. Come on, give a guy a chance.
I'm home. Hi.
Hi! How did it go, your first day back on the soap opera?
Oh, it was wonderful. Everybody was so nice. They had champagne for me. They even bought me a gift. Look.
Welcome back.
The National News replay is next, and Saturday morning.
Won by 1 point. It was disheartening for the Yarrawonga guys to get beaten after being in front all day. But when a side kicks 3:21 up till three-quarter time, I think sooner or later, if they keep peppering the goals, they're certainly going to convert. And that's what they did in the last quarter. Wodonga, they kicked 5-2 to Yarrawonga's 1-3. And I guess it was Yarrawonga's turn to kick inaccurately. But I thought in the final analysis, it was probably the experience of Wodonga that won it for them, because players like Holland, McGee and Harris, all those guys have played in the seniors during some stage of the year, and when the crunch came in the last quarter, they were the smaller players after the rain that really got Wodonga going. And as I said, 8:23 they kicked for the whole game, and that's 31 shots to 10, which is 20. So really, Wodonga definitely deserved to win it. My best players, well, it was a game of two halves virtually. My 3-2-1, I thought Eddie Clark for Yarrawonga. He was persistent all day for Yarrawonga, and it wasn't his fault that they got beat. That's not a bad one if you don't mind. young Harris for Wodonga. I was looking for a player to replace Bone, and I guess young Harris, when it balls down, he could be the guy. He played very well yesterday for them. And finally, young Taylor, the big number 17, the big ruckman, as you just saw, shows a bit of vigour, and he pulled down a couple of good skyscrapers for them. But overall, Yarrawonga, a fairly good effort, and probably will deserve to be there next week.
Probably the big winning move was when Wodonga put their big guns cannon up at the forward line in the last quarter.
The big gun cannon, you're right, yeah. Yeah, that certainly changed the game, didn't it, Jim? He went to centre half forward, and he was instrumental in taking a couple of good grabs for them, and he brought other players into the game as well when he did that. But they looked all at sea in the forward line, didn't they? Wodonga early in the game.
Well, Yarrawonga lost it because they went laterally across the ground on numerous occasions.
They've got a bad habit of doing that of late, and I hope they don't do it this afternoon, because it will be detrimental to them this afternoon if they start coming at caper today. But they could have won the game. They virtually had the game sealed at three-quarter time after the rain came, and then they just lapsed concentration on it. I think that was their downfall, that they did think that they did have it won.
Right, well, that was the second game. Thanks very much, Merv, and Jim was there. Well, the three of us are at the main game, and Jim, I think, being the elder statesman, you can start off and tell us a little bit about it, but I thought that Lavington looked supreme all day, and at the end of the game, North Albury didn't play well enough to finish as close as they did. That's my opinion.
Well, Lavington deserved to win. They led at every change, Graham, and as you said, I think Lavington had about 65% use of the ball, and it was just one of those things that North Albury were only as close to the finish because they persisted. Lavington really never allowed North Albury to play their natural play on style, and they tackled hard and they stopped the North Albury runners. North Albury's troubles, I thought, started across the centre, where Cassidy beat three opponents midfield. Copley completely outplayed Evans, and I couldn't understand why Stam wasn't moved earlier, and why North Albury didn't direct play through Kerr, and why North Albury didn't use Bill Mulroney off the bench much earlier.
I thought you hit the nail on the head there. I thought North Albury had a lot of players that weren't sighted yesterday, and they're good players. You mentioned Stam, who up till a couple of weeks back has been a good find for them. Wayne Ostras, who people are tipping to poll very well in the Morris Medal, he was another one that went missing. And just generally across the board, I guess they had 4 or 5 players that didn't contribute at all. And I don't think it was a real North Albury we saw yesterday.
I think one of the big things too, Merv, was the fact that Wilson kept Peters and Wegner out of the game, and this emphasised the lack of North Albury when they can't run the ball.
You're probably right. One of the things that I think that maybe Lavington may have beaten North Albury before the game started, as far as the tactical moves was concerned, by putting Stewart in the forward pocket and leaving there all day, and that meant that Martin Cross's hands were tied because he had to keep a good player on Stewart to keep him out.
Well, the thing was that what Stewart did, Merv, was he ran up the ground and then doubled round and came back, headed towards goal, and really never allowed Connolly to clear from the back line.
That's probably right, yes.
Valenti and Stanley.
I thought Stanley put in very well yesterday. He tried it every time the ball went near him, and although he didn't convert that often, I thought Stanley's contribution at centre-half forward was a very good one.
The cameraman's got a message for you too, man. Right, well, let's have a look at the votes now yesterday. Jim, first of all, your 3-2-1.
Well, I gave one to Wise because I thought his strength around the pack as a ruck rover, I thought he was one of the players that didn't allow the North Albury runners into the game because of his strength. Kerr was a natural on the central wing to get a vote. I gave 3 to Hamilton on the half-forward flank because I thought he was instrumental in keeping the ball tucked in the Lavington forward zone on numerous occasions. North Albury, when the ball was in their defence, were never allowed to attack out of the back line, and it was Hamilton that kept the ball in that Lavington forward zone, and I gave him 3 votes, not so much for the number of kicks that he got, but for the number of times he trapped that ball in the forward zone, and he got my 3 votes.
Well, Merv, your 3-2-1.
Right, I gave 1 to Ray Mack, but simply because of the fact that he put Roger Peters virtually out of business. He kept on bringing the ball to the ground, and like you, Jim, I gave Jason Kerr 2 and Richard Hamilton 3.
Right, well, my vote yesterday, I gave Kerr 3 because he was in the top of North Albury's each of the 4. Hamilton just a touch behind him, and Peter Copley played a great game from my side of the ground. We're talking about this. I was on the other side of the ground. He played a great game.
There's a strange thing about that, Graham. You're on the other side of the ground. The radio announcers and everybody on the other side of the ground all said that Copley played well, yet Merv and I on the other side of the ground, Copley didn't perform on that side.
Right, well, let's have a look now at the player of the day goes to Johnny Longmire from Cora Rutherglen Thirds. Magnificent game in the third yesterday. Our All Tools, the final, it's all over anyhow because last week Jeff Gushin won it. Right, but we hope you've enjoyed football well.
As usual, we've run out of time. Don't forget Gibbo and Japelli. They'll be back at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Sports Sunday. But from me, goodbye and have a good weekend.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Prime Network's Football World. Your host, Graham Burns.
Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Football World. Hope you stay with us right through for the next hour and we talk about all your local sport in the local area. Some of the some of the items we'll have on the program today include baseball. Phil Ashton, also Keith Quinn will be along to talk about the big grand final in baseball that's on this afternoon. Johnny Rogers is back with his golf segment. The hockey, we'll be talking about yesterday's prelim finals there. The Careen League had their prelim final. The cameras are out there and we have Vin Doolan as a special guest from the Careen League. Tallangatta League, we've got Rod Page from down there and we'll be talking about that game yesterday out there. What's your decision with the umpires? Rugby Union, Steamers lost, but they're still around today. Rugby League, Peter Beecroft will be winding up the season after last week's grand final. Junior golf, we have some shots of some junior golf out of town at Myrtleford actually during the week. The Hume League, Ovens and King, VFL highlights of the big match yesterday, 1 point. Essendon going down by Ovens and Murray Corner. We hope that one of the Ovens and Murray boys will be in to talk to us about what's happening in O&M in the next few weeks, and the panel with the thirds, seconds and firsts. So plenty coming up in the next hour on Football World. But let's go to the scoreboard. And yesterday we start off as usual with Ovens and Murray football, second semi-final day. Lavington defeated Wodonga 114 to 72. Wodonga won the seconds easily and also the thirds. In Tallangatta League prelim final day yesterday, Kiwa Sandy Creek in the first defeated Tallangatta Valley. Wodonga Demons defeated Tallangatta Valley in the seconds. Dedarang Mount Beauty kicking well 13-4 to Kiwa Sandy Creek 6-10 in the thirds. And Wodonga Demons 7-11 to Dedarang Mount Beauty 4-3 in the fourths. Benalla League, and it was first semi-final, and in the first there, the winners Thornton 12-16 to Swanpool 11-7. Bonnie Doon in the seconds, pretty good win there, 16-15 to 7-12. Ovens and King prelim final day, Greta 14-19 defeated Tarawinji 10-10. Beechworth 9-12 defeated Chilton 9-7. And Bright 9-9 defeated King Valley 6-9 in the thirds. Tungamar first semi-final. In the first, Tungamar defeated Mansfield by 1 point, 13-13 to 13-12. In the reserve, Shepparton East won that one, and Shepparton East also won the thirds by 13 points. Hume League yesterday, and the winners out there in the second semi-final, Henty 14-18 to Gindera 10-15. Waller in the seconds, 10-12 to Gindera 6-9. And Henty in the thirds, 11-9, defeated Lockhart 6-9 by 5 goals. Careen League yesterday, prelim final day, Cora Rutherglen 12-12 defeated Rennie 9-11. Hopefield Burridge, 15-7, defeated Careen 5-7, and Coral Rutherglen 8-3 in the thirds, defeated Colliambley 7-5 by just those 4 points. Farrer Division 1 grand final day yesterday, and Whitton defeated Cootamundra in the firsts. Rivcole defeated Cootamundra in the seconds. Upper Murray League, and thank you very much to Jeff Ross for passing these scores through to us all year. And in the grand finals there, Darryl Jordan kicked 12 to Best on the Ground 2 award. Federals 19-9 defeated Cudgewah 10-12. In the reserves, Border Walwa defeated Federals. In the thirds, Corryong defeated Federals. And in the fourths, Corryong, they're kicking 5-1, defeated Border Walwa 0-3. Picola League yesterday, and well, I keep saying it, but nobody seems to take any notice. Barooga should be the side in the Ovens of Murray, no doubt at all. They've won first, seconds and thirds in the there, as you can see, in the Picola League, and they look like winning the fourths too in the grand final out there. That's the second semis, and they've won the 3 of them. Goulburn Valley, round 22. Lemnos defeated Euroa. Mooroopna defeated Rochester. Echuca defeated Kyabram. Tatura defeated Seymour. And Shep United defeated Tongala. And Lemnos got in over the top there of Tongala because Lemnos won for the final 5. Mooroopna, Shep United, Echuca, Seymour, and Lemnos. And of course, Tongala in the 5 all year, going out after yesterday's game. We go to racing now, and racing yesterday was at Albury. It was the Charity Day meeting. Not the night meeting, it was a day meeting. I've been out there a night before. Albury race 1 in the Navy was the winner at 7-4. Niskaway was second and Trusty Boy was third. In the maiden 1400 metres, Red Stevens from Daskna and Galmia was third. The unplaced favourite Vinia Pureo at 6-4. In the stakes 1600 metres, another Bandit beat Roman Luck and Break the Minute, the 7-4 favourite. Race 4 was the Grange Hotel, 1600 metres handicap, and we picked the race up at the start. Batumba Pride, the favourite, and it's also the one to watch as it jumps out very quickly.
This time on the inside, Bitumba Pride beat them out and landed 2 lengths in front from Vain Mark. On the outside, going around them, Invasion Master, followed by Sleepy Jim. In that group of horses is Secret Diamond, improving up to be 5th on the outside, and then further back Racing Star of Regel in company with Curra Guest near the tail, and last of all is Summer Lions. They travel past the 1200, and on the far side of the course, Bitumba Pride is travelling easily in front, the leader, a length and 3/4 from Invasion Master, Secret Diamond 3 wide. They were being followed in behind those by Vain Mark and then Sleepy Jim. Making ground is Curra Guest, second last on the inside, Star of Regel, and Summer Lines is back near the tail. To the 1000 metres they travel, and Colin Matthews has Batumba Pride the leader, and the favourite on top as they go to the 900. In second placing, Invasion Master, followed by Secret Diamond. Around the outside of them, Sleepy Jim's improving territory 3 wide. They were being followed by Vain Mark. Further back is Curra Guest. Summer Lions going up in the middle. Second last now is Secret Diamond, and Star of Regella's near the tail. At the 600 metre mark, they're about to swing for home, and there are many chances with Bitumba Pride first into the straight. On his outside, Invasion Master. Sleepy Jim is further out. They were followed by Summer Lions, and further back to Vain Mark. At the 200 metre mark, Bitumba Pride is given full bore as Summer Lions comes through on the inside. It's Bitumba Pride and Summer Lions settling down to fight it out. Summer Lions doing a bit better. Bitumba Pride coming again on the outside. Summer Lions and Bitumba Pride coming again. He'll get up and score, Bitumba. Nearly a dead heat, but Bitumba Pride on the outside has come again to beat Summer Lions. A short half head, I reckon. In behind them came Secret Diamond, followed by Curra Guest.
As you saw, Batumba Pride, 5-4 favourite, beating Summer Lions and Secret Diamond. Race 5 was the stakes over 1200 metres. Regional Miss at 9-2 was first. Silky Lad 10-1 second, and Robber's Dream at 12-1 third. Unplaced favourite Exotic Fair at 3-1. The last race, race 6, was Good Alibi at 6-1 was the winner of the 1000 metres improvers from Street Noise 3-1, and Bari Dancer was the 5-4 favourite, but a pretty good meeting out there at Albury yesterday. Right, we'll be back after this break having a look over to baseball and also golf.
Denbro's the go. Whatever you need, it's here on show.
Denbro's Truss and Building Supplies are now open in Corowa. Laying a slab? Denbro's will help you out with ARC reinforcing mesh. All sizes of floor and trench mesh available. Large stock always on hand with bar chairs, polish heating and ligatures. Delivery anywhere in the viewing area. You'll enjoy our sudden service. Come on down to Denbro's or just give us a call.
Denbro's the go.
This is not a pretty sight. Functional, but not at all decorative. Light fittings make all the difference, and the difference will cost you less if you shop now at United Lighting. All ceiling fittings and wall brackets have been reduced, and fluorescent fittings heavily discounted to sell. If you require 6 or more fittings, contact United Lighting for special trade discounts. Get into United Lighting for big savings. Naturally, the selection is enormous at United Lighting, your discount lighting store.
Wentworth, an Australian inspiration for the beautiful new range by Unibuilt.
From Man's Mitre 10.
Welcome back to Football World, and it's time now to talk about baseball. The boys are in with us. They've got to run away very quickly because the match starts in about 20 minutes' time, but it's the grand final of the baseball, and with me, Phil Ashton from the Bears, and also Keith Quinn from the Eagles, the mighty Quinn. They go back to radio days, doesn't it, Keith?
It certainly does, Graham.
Right, well, you've still been around the baseball scene a long while, and you've got your side up there on top and in the grand final. Pretty confident?
Oh, we are confident after last week's game, Graham. Yes, we batted very well. Probably the best we've done this year.
Right, and Phil, you're a catcher with your side. You dictate the game from that position?
Oh, as much as you can, yeah. Yeah, you call a bit of the game from catching, yeah.
Right. Now, what about your strengths? Who are the strengths in the Bears?
Well, we've been renowned as a batting side for a number of years. We've kept that skill going this year. But what we've tried to do this year is tighten up our infield and our fielding, and I think we've done that pretty successfully. So we've had a good all-round consistent year, I think.
Right, now we're having a look at some of the overlay here of previous match, and a little bit damp, but
yeah, wet,
it'll be pretty dry and hard out there today because it's a magnificent day. And does that, the dry ground, who would it suit? Which side?
I think it would suit both teams, really, Graham. Right. They're both very fast teams, a lot of experience on both sides, so it'll be a good game.
Right, one thing that really gets me is pitching. We're watching the fellow on the mound here now. With the ball pitching, is it the pace or is it the movement? You see a lot of the Americans, and Phil?
Well, it depends who it is. Darryl, as you can see there, Darryl McGregor from Eagles, a very experienced pitcher. Been around a long time and has probably lost a lot of pace, but what he's lost in pace he's picked up upstairs, so very knowledgeable baseball. The same with Keith. I think Keith pitches for Eagles and he's lost a little bit of pace over the years, but those sort of guys are hard to bat, Graham, because they've got experience on their side, and that's always hard to beat.
Right, now the game this afternoon, Keith, is at Gelbart Park, is it?
Gelbart Park,
right, which is just situated off Dick Road or Union Road area, so if anybody wants to whip across there. And what's the duration of the game, Keith? How long is it going to go for?
It'll be a 9 innings game, probably finish about 4, half past 4.
4 and a half past. So it could be about 3 hours of top baseball.
Yeah, we'll be
right.
Top baseball.
Well, OK, well, we have the Nestle's chocolate there. I've got to just sneak down here a little bit. I'm out of sight, see, because I just want to have a little thing here. We've got Phil's nickname is the Bear, see, and Lisa, do you like that? And who does the Bear go for, Lisa? The little Lisa's sitting over there. He goes for it. And Phil, because the boys all put in, Phil works for the channel, I can tell you that. The boys all put in teddy bear chocolate biscuits.
Very good,
thank you. Give those to Lisa. And the mighty Quinn, we've got the mighty chocolate for you there. That's the Nestle's cherry slice and chocolate coconut rough. And I wish the both of you the best of luck. I know it's a great game, baseball, the same as cricket and all the other games, and you'll have a great grand final. And Phil, we hope to see you at work tomorrow. And Quinny, we hope to see you smiling too around about 4:30 this afternoon.
Thanks, Graham.
Right, well, we go now to golf, and John Rogers travelled out of town this week with his golf, and he's talking about it. Probably the dads, if you just disappear out of the lounge room now and leave it to mums, because John Rogers is talking about spending money on juniors with golf. Let's go now to John Rogers with his golf segment.
Welcome back to the Golf Show. Today I'd like to talk about junior golf. Junior golfers are our future golfers, and how to start them off seems to be one of the biggest questions that mothers and fathers come and see me about. Firstly, they must be, at most of the golf clubs, must be 10 years of age before they can join. So then once they join, you'll find at most of the golf clubs they can go on and play junior golf, because a lot of the clubs actually have a junior program where on a Sunday or whatever it might be, generally on a Sunday morning, they have a junior competition. Now, starting them off in the game is where it all begins. But when you're looking at how should they play the game, everybody needs a little bit of help, and it's very important that they start the right way. Now, looking at golf equipment, first of all, a lot of parents come to me and they think, should they use my golf clubs? I mean, you can talk about a boy or a girl at 6 or 7 years of age. I would suggest for somebody at that age that they go along, go to their locus golf professional, and ask them, can they cut down a club a little bit? Wouldn't cost a lot of money. Cut down a golf club and give them one short club so that they can learn a little bit. Now, as they get a little bit bigger, there's no doubt about it that if they could have clubs that would suit them, they would play a little bit better. But when you're looking at a full-size golf club, it won't hurt their golf muscles. In fact, it will strengthen their golf muscles to be able to use a full-size golf club. I can remember back when I first started playing golf, I never played with anything but a full set of golf clubs that were my father's old clubs. Now, when you're looking at the little ones, as I said, make sure you get them a short club, because from the size of them, it sticks up into their stomach and whatever, and it's not very comfortable, so they can't swing the club. Now, from there, where you need to go is you need to have them learn to grip the club the right way. It's very important in gripping the golf club. I see too many, like my golf bag here. First thing when you pick up a golf club, you pick it up, if you're right-handed, you pick it up in your right hand. Now, there's too many golfers that are playing left-handed that should be actually right-handed. And I see it in the senior ranks as they get older. They turn around and they say, I play cricket, I chop wood, and I play golf left-handed. But I throw a ball, anything else, playing tennis, playing squash, whatever it might be, writing, they do right-handed. Now, if I put my club on the ground there, I'll show you exactly how this happens, and you can have a look at home. So when you get a young girl or a young boy starting off in golf, they pick up a golf club, they pick it up in their right hand. Now, what happens then is, that's where it feels comfortable, so they have to put their left hand somewhere. Placing their left hand on the golf club here, they're backhanded, which is now a left-handed golf grip. So what happens is, mum or dad, they say, well, little Johnny or little Billy is a left-hander. So he starts off swinging this right-handed club backhanded, and all of a sudden, they say, now look, we're doing the wrong thing here. We'll get him some golf clubs, and we'll buy him a left-handed set. But if they had have had some help from a professional, they would have found that they could have got him playing the correct way, because it's very difficult to play your best golf back to front. The easiest thing in golf, as I tell a lot of people, is hitting a golf ball. The hardest thing is hitting the ball properly. I mean, I could stand here and get a left-handed club out, and I could hit the ball, but I wouldn't hit it anywhere near as well. Or one of the most important things is power. So power comes from the right hand. It's very important, that right hand on the club, because it's driving the club. If you try and drive the club back to front with your left hand, trying to play left-handed, it's very difficult to get your power. So it's possible to hit the ball, but you'll never get your best playing ability out of that. So first of all, make sure that they grip the golf club correctly. And really, starting the juniors off the right way is the only way to get good golf out of them. And they can all be very good golfers. I'm sure that a lot of the mums and dads at home would understand that they started themselves far too late. But it's still an enjoyable game, a wonderful game to start no matter what age. So it all starts with how you start that golf grip. Make sure that if they're a left-hander, if they throw the ball left-handed, they should play left-handed. If they throw a ball right-handed, play right-handed. But take them along to the golf club, get them involved in junior golf as far as signing them up with a golf club that's nearest to you, and then inquire with a golf professional on what equipment they should use, and also on what sort of junior programs they have in teaching from the golf professional at that particular golf club. But that's what you should do, and I really thought today would be just a good opportunity to explain how you get your children started off in golf. Anyway, I've run out of time today. I'll see you on our next show. Take them along to the golf club and get them signed up today.
We got all these chainsaws.
The new Husqvarna 40, winner of the prestigious Japanese G-Mark Award. Its 40 cc's of Swedish engineering excellence. And the new Conaro 1000 with ash pan, fan and refractory lining, capable of withstanding searing 1600-degree temperatures. It's got all the features of the more expensive units and will revolutionize the heater market at an amazing $899.
Schultz & Company.
It's all up to me. Be the best I can be. feel.
Welcome back to Football World. It's time now for hockey, and with us again is Serena Meredith. I get that right, don't I, Serena? And also Craig O'Brien. Craig, last night. Congratulations to Craig. In fact, we've just seen each other for the first second.
That's right.
Congratulations, winner in the men's best and fairest.
Thank you very much.
Were you very happy with that?
Yeah, very happy. I was very surprised, actually, yes.
Right, there was a lot of players in the Victorian side who you didn't make the Victorian side. So.
No, that's right. Most of them sort of playing one side tends to draw votes away from each other. So, but for me, we've been a good side and it's been worked out very well.
Right, so everything's gone pretty well for your good season?
Yes, well, I was up till yesterday.
Whereabout do you play?
Fullback.
Fullback, and well, that's straight down the ground position, isn't it? Makes it
a little bit easier. They're coming to you all the time, which helps.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Serena, let's have a look at yesterday's results in hockey, because we had the prelim finals, and in the men's, YA's got up to beat Wodonga, and of course Craig comes from Wodonga, and Craig, that's the one bad thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was one bad thing,
3-2
yes.
loss.
Yes.
Right, the women's Magpies won, defeated Norths 0. Now, what's this mean next week in the grand finals?
Well, next week in the men's grand final, City will play YAs, and in the women's first division, Magpies will play GIO.
Right, talking women's hockey, here's yesterday's overlay of the game. Pretty close score, 1-0. A very defensive game, was it, Serena?
Both teams had a lot of problems getting into the circles. Our goal came off a short corner, so if we hadn't have gotten that, we probably would have gone into extra time.
Right, so the grand final next week, and you're one-eyed about the result.
Oh, yes, definitely.
OK, so now what time's your grand final for your women's on?
Oh, they haven't been decided yet. We'll know those tomorrow night, probably.
Right, well, Craig, got to ask you the question. You're out of it now, but who should win the grand final in men's?
Oh, I think City could quite easily, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Should be a good game, though?
Yes, I think so. YAs have lost 2 players with the Victorian side going to New Zealand. Well, City, I think, effectively only lost 1 for next week's game. And I just think the depth of City, they'll win it quite easily, actually.
Right, well, Craig, we can't give you a medal that you won last night, but all great people win Best and Fairest awards. But what we will do is we'll give you some Nestle's chocolate. There's some coconut rough and some mint chip.
Thank you very much.
And also, Serena, for you, some crunch.
Great.
That'll help you next week. Now, just keep it cool, ladies. Like you played a bit hard there in the women's hockey, and we'll talk to you next week after the grand final. Once again, congratulations,
Thank you very much,
on that win last night. Right, well, that's the hockey, and we'll go now to the Careen League. John Morris was down there yesterday. We had the cameras there, and John will be talking about that game. And then just following that, we'll have Neil Prater talking to Vin Doolan, who's the captain coach of the Careen side, who are Cora Rutherglen in the Careen League, who are now in the grand final. Right, here's John Morris with yesterday's game.
Thank you, Graham. A very good game of football yesterday. It was fairly even the first half. It was fast-running football, hard tackling, and despite a breeze blowing across the ground, some good high marking was a feature. The better players up to half-time were Johnny McCabe, Chris Colleen and Steve Doolan for the Cora Rutherglen side, and for Rennie, Robert Tate, Trevor Bruce and Winston Rhodes. Phil Shelley, who'd been starring for Cora Rutherglen, unfortunately had to go off. His jaw was broken in that first quarter. He finished the quarter out and they took him off. The Roos led at every change, and at half-time they were in front by 7 points. The last half was the same as the first, no beg pardons, grim determined football. Opposing Rovers were starring, that's Wayne Schultz and Winston Rhodes. McCabe and Tate, Johnny McCabe of Cora Rutherglen and Robert Tate of the Rennie side, they gave their all. They had a good tussle in the ruck. It was a good game of football, and Cora Rutherglen always seemed in command and won by 19 points.
Who were the better goal kickers there yesterday, John?
The goal kickers for Cora Rutherglen, Nick Meyer got 4 and Tony Charlton and Gavin Deese got 2 each. For Rennie, Winston Rhodes got 4 and Carlo Tonini 3.
You did mention the wind there. I was out in the Hume League yesterday. It seems to be playing havoc with all footy at the moment.
Well, it wasn't too bad yesterday. That was dry. That was the main thing. The wind didn't favour any particular end. It was blowing diagonally across the ground, and I think that was right, Vin, wasn't it? Yeah. The best players for the Cora Rutherglen side, Wayne Schultz, the rover, best on the ground, a brilliant exhibition of football. Chrissy Colleen, the veteran of the Cora Rutherglen side, he's always worthy of a few kicks, and he got them yesterday. Johnny McCabe in the ruck, Trevor Wood was playing everywhere, and he did particularly well. Dennis Walsh on the wing, and I must mention a young player, Darren Hutton. He played in the forward pocket, I think, Vinny, didn't he? Back pocket. And he played particularly well for a young fella. For Rennie, we had Winston Rhodes, Robert Tate, Paul Eddy, Trevor Bruce and Andrew McKellar.
Well, welcome in this morning anyway, Vin. We have Vin Doolan, who's the captain coach of Corowa Rutherglen. You must have been pretty happy with the team's performance yesterday, Vin.
Very happy, yes, under the circumstances. We have a lot of injuries and...
You're one of...
I'm one of them,
You're
yes.
one of them. How will you shape up next week?
Well, I won't know till Saturday morning, but as I've told the chaps last week, that if you haven't got the players, you can't play with them, and you don't worry about it, and everyone that goes on the ground's got 2 arms and 2 legs, and they've all got the football ability, otherwise they wouldn't be playing there. So whoever goes on will give their best, and we don't have to worry about the players that are not there.
Right, Vin, can I throw you a leading question? Why are you going to win?
I think we turned the corner a little bit yesterday. I thought our desire and our desperation to win the hard ball was the turning factor, and that's the thing that has got us on top of the ladder all year. And that's the thing that came to the fore yesterday.
Yeah, Steve, your cousin or brother?
Brother.
Brother. He must be doing pretty well out there for you.
Steve's a top player. Played very well again yesterday, didn't waste a kick. He's just got to get a little bit more marking going and we'll have